Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to focus on the Apache Tomcat server. What is the use of the Apache Tomcat server and how we are going to use in Apache Tomcat server in the real time, and how to start the Tomcat server, how to stop the Tomcat server, and how to download and set up in the Tomcat server in Windows. In this video we are going to show how to run the Tomcat server in the Windows server. In the next video I am going to show how to run the Tomcat server in the Linux server. Okay, so before working on it on the Tomcat server, first of all you need to download the Tomcat server. For downloading the Tomcat server, so I'm going to provide one URL to you. I'm going to provide the URL in the in my video description. Okay, you can go to the Google and click the download Tomcat. Okay, once you search for the download Apache Tomcat, so you will get the Apache Tomcat download versions. Here it will open the Apache Tomcat website. Here you can find the option, so download option, so you can download the zip file. Okay, so previously I already downloaded the Tomcat server zip file. So, okay, this is the file we already downloaded previously. Okay, after downloading the file you will get the file in the form of the zip file. You need to extract it. Right click the file and extract, click the extract, so it will be extracted. Okay, so once we open the Tomcat server, so you will find the multiple folders: bin folder, config, lib, logs, temp, web web apps, work. So here we are able to see multiple files. Okay, so in the first step we are going to show you how to start this Tomcat server. Okay, before going to start Tomcat server, first you need to check the Java is set up in your system or not. Why? Because if you want to run the Tomcat server in the Windows server or Linux server, so what is the mandatory thing you need to have? You need to have the Java setup in your system. Okay, let me show you how to check the Java is available in your system or not. Just open the command prompt. Okay, after you can type java hyphen version. Once you type this one, it will show you what is the version of the Java is available in your PC. As of now in my PC I have the Java 1.8 version, so that's why it is showing like this. So if the Java is set up in your system, then only your system is ready to start and stop the Tomcat server. Okay, so now in my system I have the Java, so I don't need to worry about the Java. So now I'm able to run the Tomcat server. Okay, now we are going to see how to run the Tomcat server. Okay, if you want to run the Tomcat server in the Tomcat folder, you need to use the bin folder. In the bin folder, we are going to have the multiple files. Some files are the bat files, some files are the .sh files. The bat files and .sh file we are going to have. Let's see, it contains the .sh and .bat files both. What are the files it is containing? .sh files, it is only for the Linux systems, Unix, Mac OS, Linux systems. That bat files for the Windows system. Okay, so that means the Tomcat server we can run in the Windows server and Linux server. But if you try to run the application, we are going to use the some files. As of now, we don't know what are the files we are going to use to run the files. But we have the multiple files with different extensions. What are the extensions we are going to have? We are going to have the extensions .sh and .bat. So if you are seeing the extension .bat, it is for the Windows. If you see it, extension .sh, it is for the Linux, Unix or Mac OS. Okay, so here I'm able to see starter files too. One starter file for the Windows batch file, another one is the batch file, another one is the sh file. So we discussed previously. So bat file is going to use for the Windows servers. Bad for bad sh files for the Linux servers. Okay, now we are running the application in the Windows server, right? So we are going to use the batch files. Okay guys, you clear, right? So here we need to focus on the two files. One is the startup file, another one is the shutdown file. So in this location, which location? In Tomcat folder you will find the bin folder. Under the bin folder you will find the shutdown and the startup are going to use to start the Tomcat server. Shutdown file is going to use to shut down the server. Okay, so but here I'm able to see two, totally four files, two for the shutdown, two for the startup. But which file we are no, we are going to use here? We are using the Windows server, so that's why we are going to use the batch file. If you use the Linux server, you are going to use the sh file. Okay, so we are clear about that point. So now we are going to run this Tomcat server. How to run it? You are able to see the startup file, right? You just double click this file here. Okay, once you double click it, the Tomcat is going to run. Okay, so we are able to see the Tomcat server is running. So it is running on which port? 8080. And how much time it taken to run this one? 32 milliseconds. 3232 milliseconds it consumed to run this one. Okay, this is the one way, guys. So to stop this one, we need to click the Control C button. We need to click the Control C. Once you click the Control C, so it is going to stop the Tomcat server. Okay, this is the one way, but it is not recommended way to start and stop the Tomcat server. Why? Because we have the files. Okay, we have the files, startup file and shutdown file. Okay, well, for shutdowning files, right? So we can simply use this file. How you are going to start the Tomcat server in second way? Open the command prompt. Open the command prompt. Open the command prompt and go to the bin location, cd and the respective location. So once you go to the bin location, here you need to execute the startup.bat file. Once you run this one, you are able to see here. So you are able to see here, right? So now application, we are able to run the application. Okay, so now if you want to stop this one, you have to execute the shutdown.bat. Once you execute this one, the window, we are unable to see the window, right? So if you start it, so, so it's showing some connection refuse. Why? Because it is trying to shut down the Tomcat server. But unfortunately, we shut down previously, but we are trying to shut down the Tomcat server. So it is checking the Tomcat server is running or not. So it is unable to identify the Tomcat server. That's why it is throwing an exception, connection refuse. So now I'm going to run once again startup. Once you enter the startup.bat and after you click the enter button, it will open the new pop-up. Okay, it will open the new command prompt and it will show you the Tomcat server running. Okay, here you can see it is using the Java home. Okay, Java is mandatory. If you don't have the Java, the Tomcat server won't run in the server. Okay, it is picking from the Java, right? It will use the some of the libraries which is existing in the Java. Okay, so now application is running on which port? 8080. So 80 is the default port. 8080 is the default port for the Tomcat server. Okay, now I'm able to see here two terminals. One is the Tomcat server console. Another one is the command prompt. I'm going to use this one to run to start and stop the Tomcat server. Okay, now I'm going to stop this one. So I stop the Tomcat server. So now you are able to see only one command prompt only. Why? Because we shut down the Tomcat. That's why we lost the second one. Okay. So now bin folder. What is the use of the bin folder, guys? Now, so the bin folder, in the bin folders we are going to have the multiple files. On that, some of the files are bat files, some of the files are the .sh file. So if it is bat file, we are going to use bat files in the Windows server. If it is .h, we are going to use that files in the Linux server. So here, how to start the Tomcat server? We are going to use the startup.sh. Okay, sorry, startup.bat for Windows, startup.sh for Linux. Okay, so this is a bin folder. So in the by using the bin folder, we are going to write, we are going to see two files, start and stop. By using those files, two files, we are going to run the Tomcat server. Okay, so now I'm going to run the once again Tomcat server. So I started the Tomcat server. So if you start the Tomcat server, so you are going to see one default port 8080. Okay, guys. So now if the Tomcat server is running, we can able to see the Tomcat server homepage. How can we be able to see the Tomcat server homepage? We are going to search for the HTTP localhost. Localhost means my local PC. It will refer to my local PC. And the after we are going to mention the port. So what is the port? Currently it is running. It is running on the 8080. Once you click, so we are able to see the Tomcat homepage. We are able to see the Tomcat homepage, right? We are able to see the Tomcat homepage. So that means, but in my case, I just want to change this port. I don't want to use the 8080 port. I want to use some custom port which is provided by the my team. Okay. Okay. So in this case, we need to change the port of the Tomcat server. We have the requirement. But how to change the port of the Tomcat server? So next, we are going to focus on the config file. What the config file contains? The config file contains the configurations related information of the Tomcat server. So here, first one is we are going to discuss about the server.xml file. Okay, in the server.xml file, you are going to have the ports. How the application is, the Tomcat server is running on which port it contains. Okay, so here you can able to see. So the default port it is 8080. So the default port is 8080, and the default protocol is HTTP protocol. By default, Tomcat is Tomcat is going to run on the HTTP protocol, and the port is 8080. Okay, now I want to change this port to 9090. I'm just you can change this port. See guys, how much simple it is. So we are changing the Tomcat port. What we are going to do? You need to go to the Tomcat config file. On the Tomcat config file, you are going to see the server.xml file. So if you open the server.xml file, you will find this connector tag. Under the connector tag, we are able to see the port. What is the port? Default port 8080. Now I am changed it to 9090. What is the default protocol? We are able to see HTTP protocol. And later we will show you how to change the HTTPS also. Okay, so after changing the port, what we have to do, we need to stop the Tomcat server and need to run it. Okay, I shut down the Tomcat server. Now I'm going to run once again. So it is running. So Tomcat, here you can able to see, right? So the Tomcat server running on the 9090 port. Previously it is running under 8080. So if you didn't mention any port, so by default it will run on the 8080. If you want to change this file port, you can change it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's see. So now I'm going to search for the 8080, but we won't get any response. Why? Because there is no running application on 8080 port. Now we change the port to 9090. So once you change the port to 9090, so now we are able to see the Tomcat homepage. under 9090. Okay. Hmm. What exactly config file contains? So config file contains the some of the configuration related information about the Tomcat server. Okay, in the Tomcat server. So first one is if you want to change the port of the Tomcat server, we can change the port of the Tomcat server in server.xml. At the same time, if you want to change the protocol, so what are the protocols we have? We have the two types of protocol. One is the HTTP protocol, HTTPS protocol. So if you want to change the protocol also, you need to do the configurations in the server.xml only. After changing the configurations in the server.xml, what we have to do? We need to down the server, we need to start the server. Okay. Then after seeing this, we are able to see some options, right? What is the server status, manage app, host manager, like this. We are able to see some of the options, right? So I'm going to click the manage app. So I click the manage app. So it is asking some username and password. So I'm going to give some username, test, test. So what is showing? So we don't have access to access the Tomcat manager app. We don't have access. So we need to provide the access to access this Tomcat homepage and Manager UI. By using this Manager UI, Tomcat Manager UI, we can able to perform the deploy the wars and stop the wars, check the status of the wars. This kind of operations we can perform by using this Tomcat GUI. Okay, so in real time, so we are going to have the multiple modules, guys. So like we have the 10 modules, we are going to deploy all the modules in the server. After deploying all the modules in the Tomcat server, we need to, if you want to see the status of the any respective module, you need to use this GUI for checking the status. Or if you want to remove that one, only particular module, you can remove that particular module by using GUI. Okay, so how to give the Tomcat homepage access to the users? Okay, this is, we are going to restrict the access of the Tomcat homepage. Okay, so by default we won't get, by default we won't get anything. Okay, you will modify server we have the one more file in the config. What is the file? Tomcat user.xml. If you open the Tomcat user.xml file, by default the permissions are commented. Okay, if you want to give the permissions to anybody to access the Tomcat homepage, we need to mention the role. What is the role we are mentioning? Manager UI is the role, and after we are going to give use the username and password, and role is manager UI. And here how many users we mention? We mention the two users. Like this, you can mention how many users you want. You can mention how many users, like, okay, manager UI. So we can mention this one. Okay, if you mention like this, so after changing the configuration in the Tomcat user.xml file also, what we have to do? We need to restart the server once again. We are going to stop the, shut down the server, and we are going to start it. So if you done any configuration related changes in the Tomcat config file, definitely what we have to do? We need to shut down the Tomcat. We need to shut down the Tomcat and we need to restart it. Then only the changes will be reflected. See, we added something, but the configuration is not proper. Like, see here. Am I missing anything here? Yeah, here double quotations got missed. Okay, so this is so here I want to give one more person also, like test. Like this, you can give how many. I mean, if we have the 10 members, you can give the username and password for the 10 members. Okay, so now I'm going to stop start it 1 second. Okay, so now the application is running fine. Okay, we are going to access this application from the UI. Okay, just click the manager app. Once you click the manager app, so what is the credentials we created? We created the credential as a tomcat, right? So once you open the tomcat, here also tomcat. Okay, we are able to see the tomcat web page. This is the web page. Here we are going to do the sum of the operations, stop the war, reload the war, I mean restart the war application, undeploy or deploy. So such type of applications we are able to do. So to perform the deploy activity, we need to use this one. Okay, so but it is, I mean, hmm, or else you can choose the war file and you can click the deploy button. Okay, it will deploy automatically to the Tomcat server. How to deploy? We'll show you. Okay. So up to now, what we discussed the two folders. One folder for the bin folder. Bin folder purpose of the bin folder is if you want to stop or start the Tomcat server, we are going to have the some files in the bin folder. We are going to use those files to run the Tomcat and stop the Tomcat. This is the config file. So what is the use of this config file? In the config file, we are going to, I mean, as of now, we are going to focus on the only two files. These two things are enough, guys. I mean, if you want to use the Tomcat server, these two files are enough as per the basic. But if you want, you can you can if you want to know all about these files, please comment it below. I will explain each and everything. Okay. As of now, these two files are enough. So what is the purpose of the server.xml? So if you want to change the any port of the Tomcat server, you are going to use the server.xml. And second thing is, if you want to change the protocol HTTP to HTTPS, or what is the protocol you are going to use? So in my case, I'm going to use the HTTP. I will configure the HTTP protocol. In some other case, we are going to use the HTTPS protocol. HTTP also protocol, we need to configure the server.xml. So configuring the HTTPS protocol, we cannot do it immediately. Why? Because we need to have some details to make the HTTPS protocol. As of now, making the HTTP is the easy one. That's why I choose the HTTP. Okay. Tomcat user.xml. In the Tomcat user.xml file, we are going to have the, I mean, we have the Tomcat GUI page, right? So this Tomcat GUI page, we need to give the access to the user. Okay. If you want to give the access to the users, we are going to use Tomcat user.xml file to provide the access. Okay, how we are going to provide? So we are going to give the set up the user information. How we are going to set up the user? We are going to use the username, password on the roles. What is the roles we are going to manage GUI? What is this manage GUI? This is a Tomcat manager GUI. Okay, Tomcat Manager GUI. This is a Tomcat Manager GUI. Here we can able to see the what are the applications is deployed here and what is the status. So if the application is running, you will see the status as true. If the application is not running, you will see the status as false. Hmm. So up to now we are clear about the two folders. One is the bin folder and config file. So this is the default lib file. So we no need to worry about the lib files. Why? Because this is the lib file. The Tomcat server. Okay, Tomcat is also one application. Okay, it is also required some dependencies, like how we working on the Spring Boot. If you are working within Spring Boot, you are going to use add the some dependencies like that. If the Tomcat also one application, it is also developed by using the Java one. So it is also going to use the some libraries. These are the Tomcat server using libraries. Okay, we don't need to worry about this lib file. So next one is the logs. This is the important factor we need to understand. Okay, but I'm not going to explain now. First, we'll see how to deploy the application in the Tomcat, and later we'll discuss about the log files. Okay, so To deploy the application into the Tomcat server, first of all, what we have to, what we need to have the war files. War, war files is the web arc, okay, war files. So after now, let's see. So if you are watching my videos, guys, in the previous we prepare one application in the Spring Boot quick review tutorial. Okay, this is that application. Okay, what is the purpose of this application? In this application, so we prepare for the student registration, how to register student, how to get the student information. This is the application we prepared. Okay, after preparing this application, we need to give to the, okay, we need to give to the, I mean, ultimate end users, right, to use the application. Okay, so we cannot give directly these class files on this application, right? We cannot give this one. We need to build whatever the classes we developed. We need to build in a one file. Okay, we need to build one file. Okay, how to, so to make all our applic all our development to one file, that file we are going to call as war file. How to make this application to war file? So by using the Gradle tool, I'm going to use the Gradle tool to build the application. Okay, so as of now I didn't discuss about the how to build the Gradle file, but in real time scenarios, guys, so if you are working with the any Tomcat server, so you will get the war files from the others. Okay, so if I'm working as a QA, so I'm going to get the war files from the DevOps team. So as if you are a developer, so you are going to build the war files by your own itself only by using the Gradle tool. So later we'll explain how to use the Gradle tool to build the application. Okay, so now you can see in the console, so build successfully. Okay, once the you are able to see the build successfully, you need to right click the application, go to the properties, and here you will find the location. Just click the location. Once you click the location, you will find the our project location. Go to the project location. Here you will find the build. Okay, build file. Under build you will find the lib. Under lib you will find the war file. This is the war file. What is the extension, guys? This is the extension of the war file. Okay, so you just need to copy this war file. Okay, after copying this war file, where we have to deploy this one, we need to deploy this war file under web apps. Copy this one. Okay, once you copy, you just see Tomcat server. Stop the Tomcat server and start it. That's all. It is not stopped properly. Okay, now I'm going to start. See, my application is running. So we are able to see the Spring banner, right? So this same thing we are able to see in the Eclipse console also. Same thing we are able to see in the Tomcat console also, right? Same thing we are able to see in the Tomcat console also. So application started successfully. There is no issue with the application. You can see, so the Tomcat started. So it choose the Java is available, check the Java is available or not. First condition is okay. Second one is, so we deployed the application. Where we deployed the application, we deployed the, I mean, we'll get this war file. After generating the war file, we are going to deploy the war file under the web apps folder. Under the web apps folder. Here only, right? So here Tomcat folder, we have the web apps. Under web apps folder, we are going to have the war file. Once you deploy the war file, .war file, the Tomcat will extract this war file. So automatically it will extract this war file. So if you so it will extract only one time. So once you deploy, so it will extract one time only. So once you stop the server and start the server, it won't extract. So the extracted file only will work. But if you deploy the war file once again newly, that time it will be overwrite the extracted file. Okay, now I deployed this file. So how many times I start or stop the file? So there is no impact in the extracted file. But if you deploy the same war file again, new one, so it will overwrite the existing extracted file, right? So let me see in the Tomcat GUI what we can see. So this is the home page 8080. If you click the manage app, we are able to see the manage app here. Here, see guys, here we are able to see the deployed war file. So we are able to see the deployed war file, right? We are able to see the deployed war file. What is the status of this war file? The status is true. What it means now? It is in active state. Okay, let me stop this one. So once I stop this one, you can see in the Tomcat console also. So we are initiating the shutdown. Shutdown initiated and shutdown completed. Okay. So now we can check the status. What is the status now? Status is false. So if I click the start button, what will be happens? If I click the start button, again the Tomcat server will be run the application. See, it is running the application. Again it started. Again it started. So once the application got started, the status what we are going to see, we are going to see the status as a true. Hmm? So here the status what we are going to see now, true. Okay, now we are able to see stop button and reload button. Reload button for the refresh the application means it will reload the application. Stop is it will stop the application. What is the undeploy? What is the undeploy? So here, once you click the undeploy, previously we deployed the application. So we deployed the application in the webapps folder, right? So we are able to see two files here. So once you click the undeploy, whatever the deployed application is going to delete from the webapp folder. You can see now. Are you able to see the deployed file? No, right? So what happens? We click the undeploy button. So that's why the deployed application got deleted from the webapps folder. So it is deleted from the webapps folder. Let's refresh the Tomcat homepage once and I click the manage UI. See, you are not able to see the deployed one. Why? Because we perform the undeploy operation. Okay, you understand that? So what is the status and what is the reload option? What is the purpose of the status button here? What is the purpose of the reload button here? And what is the purpose of the undeploy? hmm? I am going to deploy once again. Copy the file. Okay, let's do the deployment by using GUI. So here you can see deploy file to the war file to deploy. So in the previous, what we did, we just copy the war file and we paste in the webs file directly. But now, what we are going to do, we are going to deploy the war file by using the Tomcat homepage. Okay, here you can see find the option select war file to upload. Select the war file, choose the war file. Where our war file? So here, this is my student information. In this build and lib, I have my war file. Select the war file and click okay and click the button of the deploy. You can check the Tomcat console. See, the file is deploying. Deployment started. Deploying web application achieved. So the deployment started. And the application also started. Now deployment activity we are doing in two ways. One is the by using the Tomcat homepage, we can able to do the deployment activity, and also we can directly copy and paste the war file into the web apps folder. We are fine, right? Where we are which folder we are going to use to perform the deployment activity. We are going to use the web apps folder to perform the deployment activity. So here, what we are going to paste here, we are going to paste the only war files only. Okay. Once you paste the war file .var, the extension is .var, and Tomcat will extract the file automatically. So this is the extracted file. Hmm. So up to now, you are clear about the web apps also. Up to now, we are clear about the web apps also. Contains the web application directories and war files. It contains what it contains. It contains the war files or application files. So in my case, I am deploying only one war file, guys. But in real case, we are going to have the multiple modules. Multiple modules we are going to deploy in the same Tomcat. That times we are going to have the 5 war files, and 5 war files we are going to deploy in the web apps folder. Hmm. So this is where we will put the web application. Next one is, so next we are going to discuss about the logs. What we are going to discuss next, we are going to discuss about the logs folder. So this is going to be logs folder. In this log folder, you are able to see the catalana.out. So this file is created in 23 today only. All files are created only today only. So this is the first file we are going to this. So this is a Tomcat log file, guys. This is the Tomcat log file. By default, whatever the information is running in the console, it is going to print here. See, we are able to see, right? Whatever the information the Tomcat is running, it is printing here. So this is what is the purpose of the logs. The purpose of the logs, so while you are accessing the application, if you are facing any problem, okay, if you are facing any problem, so later on you need to do the some research on it, what is the root cause for that problem. That time we are going to refer the Tomcat logs. So in Spring Boot application, we are going to configure the explicit logs. Okay, in Spring Boot we are going to log the logs. The logs we are going to print in the this catalan.out file, or we are going to use the explicit log files. Okay, the second one is the access log. This is going to be access log. So this log will show you the how many hits we are coming, and where we are how many hits we are coming, and what is the IP address from where we are getting the request. Each and everything we are going to see here. Okay, so this is a request. What is the request we are getting? HTTP request, HTTP get. These are the access levels. What are the requests are coming to the Tomcat server? So each and every information we are going to see. These are the hits we are getting. Okay, okay. Let's do one thing. So now I'm going to delete the access log and save it. Maybe while running time, maybe I cannot delete it. Okay, no problem. So you can see in the end we are able to see that this one, right? So the post map. So this is the last one, 1322. Now what we have to do, now we are going to refresh this one. After refresh and manage app, so now you can see the access log. You can see the access log. At the end it will print based on our hits. So previously we are able to see this one. So after we hit it to some port and we are able to access, and we are seeing the manager hop and SVG. So each and every request, so what we are coming, I mean where it is coming. So the IP address and the date, time, and the hit, what are the hits we are getting. So as of now we are getting the get request. Okay, so okay guys, now we are going to access the application APIs. So previously what we did in the previous tutorial, we access the applications, we are running the application in the Eclipse, and we are accessing from the Postman. Now same API, so if you run application in the Eclipse, this is the way. So this is a log IP and port, this is the URLs, this is a REST, and this is the URLs. Now if you deploy the application in the Tomcat in the web apps folder, how to access that one? Okay, that is the question also, right? So what we have to do, we need to copy the var name also. Var name is going to important to us. Copy the var name, and after the port, what is the port is you running? 9090 9090 slash var name. So this is going to be the base URL. After this base URL, you need to keep your API URL. So if you are running application in the Eclipse, this is going to the base URL, http localhost 8080. If you are running application in the Eclipse, this is the base URL. But if you're running the application in the Tomcat server, we need to use the var name also. What we have to use? We need to use the var name also. Up to var name is going to be the base URL. Now I'm going to give the hit. See, I'm able to interact the application and I got the response also. You can observe here we are able to see the some request dispatcher servlet, and also same thing we can observe from the here also. You can see what is the request. Get request we are receiving, right? Where we are receiving from the outside. So where you see we are giving hit from the outside. So what is the API we are calling? We are calling the API of the get API and the path. This is the path, right? This is the path we are using. So by using this access log, we can say how what are the requests we are coming, where at what time the request came to us, and what is the request type. We can simply say this is the access log. Who is accessing our application? We can tell by using this access log. Okay. You are clear, right? So up to now. So we discuss about the bin, we discuss about the config, we discuss about the webs, we discuss about the logs. Okay, we discuss about the how to set up the user, and we discuss about how to change the port. Hmm. So up to now, what we did? Up to now, we run the application in the only in the Tomcat server, in the Tomcat server in Windows server. But in my next video, I will show you how to run this Tomcat server in the Linux server. Mhm. So one last point, guys. So by default, this Tomcat homepage will be accessible from the only the only the same system. Like if I am running a Tomcat server in my system, so I can able to see this Tomcat homepage from only my system. But if you want to give access to this Tomcat homepage to everyone, we need to do some modification. Where we are going to do, we are going to have the webapps folder, right? In the webapps folder, we are going to have the host manager. In the host manager, we are going to have the metadata.info. In the metadata.info file, we are going to have the context.xml file. In this context.xml file, we are going to have the value attribute. In this value attribute, we are going to have the, it will represent the local host. But if you want to change, give access to host manager to everyone, we need to mention the star. Once you mention the star, so everyone can able to see the Tomcat homepage. Okay, so up to now this is, guys. So thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe.